Hello everyone, this is Jim Delapine. I'd like to do a quick video on showing you guys how to adjust your image so that you get maximum contrast with each of your elements, okay? So first of all, I'm going to use this random sample here of a student that I'm not going to give out names, but I see that whoever did this, focused on the tutorial, the video I sent out last week. And what we're going to do is this. Note that this student put a curves adjustment layer in here. You need to, and what this does is it affects everything. Everything underneath this curves layer is affected. Okay, if I drag this down to this layer here, only the layer underneath that would be affected. Okay, so you need to do these individually. All right, so I'm going to trash the curves adjustment layer. And then first of all, I want to maximize my size. So this student was smart and put up guidelines knowing that you need to fit the character within roughly the 6 by 8 inch area within the 8 by 10. So I'm going to select all of these layers at the same time with the exception of the sketch. So let me hide the sketch and I'm going to click on the top layer and shift click this layer down here. So all of these layers are selected. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is, with all these layers active and selected, I'm going to hit Control or Command T to put a bounding box around all of these images at the same time. Then I'm going to go to the corner bounding box, any corner, click and start dragging outward. As I'm dragging, I'm then going to hold down the Shift key, because if I don't, you can see I'm going to stretch this. I don't want to do that. I'm going to hold down the Shift key to scale it out proportionately. It constrains it. And if I also hold down the Alt key at the same time, so Shift and Alt or Shift Option, it will scale out from the center point. Okay, so I'm going to roughly guesstimate as to what size I need to be at. So it's okay that a part of it will extend beyond that 6 by 8 inch area. Okay, so before I apply the transformation, I can reposition this. And I can probably go up a little bit more, but you know what? Let me leave it at this because you want to take into consideration the fact that you'll need space for type. Okay, you need to have the name of your character in there. So I'm going to leave this as is. So I'll hit Enter to apply my transformation. All right, so there. Now my character is within this rough guideline of 6 by 8 inches. So now if I go back and just select one layer, let's see, we have the arm here. Okay. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to create a levels adjustment layer. Levels. Okay. So my properties windows comes up and I see overall these images look a little light. So what the levels adjustment layer does is it brings in dark values and light values into the picture, into the image. So let me zoom in to this arm here so I could get a better idea. And it looks like there's no real blacks in here. Everything's very smoky and overall gray. So I can bring the darker pixels in by dragging this shadow slider over to the right. Okay. Keep in mind the student hasn't completed this. And then you can fiddle with the midtones, and then the lightness. But note what's happening. It's affecting all of the images. So what you need to do is create what's called a clipping mask. And we reviewed this last week, okay, in the assignments you had. So to create a clipping mask, you want to do that so that it will affect only this underlying layer. So you can do that by right-clicking on that adjustment layer and select Create Clipping Mask, or you can quickly do it by holding down the Alt or Option key and hovering in between these layers. See that funny looking icon? So with the Alt or Option key held down, this icon will appear, and then you just click. It attaches to this underlying layer and it also indents. So now if you hide and show, you'll see it's only affecting that layer. Okay, so now you get an accurate reading. Okay, so now you can just make your adjustments to for example, if this is all the way out here and this is out here, all right, this mountain or histogram represents a grayscale value. So the higher this mountain is, the more of a value of pixels in like a lighter gray area would be. Okay, so this is telling me there's really no highlight. So there's one spike here that says there is some white in here, but bring this over to the beginning of the mountain and bring this one over to the beginning of that mountain, okay? Or incline, I should say. All right, and then you may want to just make an adjustment here just to get a visual adjustment, and that looks pretty good. All right, so there. All right, so let me close out of this, and now you can go to the next one. So that would be for the body here, okay? So or the cooler. I'll select that, create a levels adjustment layer. The first thing I'll want to do is clip this to the underlying cooler layer. So I'll Alt or Option click here. And now any changes I make will affect only the cooler. This actually doesn't look right. It looks like these images were lightened by the student already, and that's not good. So you want to work with the original images. So I'm bringing in some of the darker values, and in this case, it's really, again, not a good representation because this should look different. You need to just make an adjustment based on this, and I think that is what we can do with that. So now if I harden show, so this is the before and after. So now you have some nice contrast to the image. All right, so you need to do that with each one of your elements. All right, create a levels adjustment layer, and that will adjust the contrast of the image. Some of them may be too dark, some may be too light. So you'll need to, everything will be a little different. So there's a lot of variables there. So, but this is important. So this way you get the maximum quality out of each image. Okay? All right, guys, I hope that helped. Take care. Bye.